Hi all. So we are starting our front end development. So as a full stack development, as we know, any developer who knows front end development as well as back end development as well as database is called full stack developer. So if you talk about our front end related technologies, so our HTML, our CSS and Bootstrap, our CSS related framework, SAS, JavaScript, jQuery library. This is our JavaScript library. So all that things come under the our front end development. So it is a core part of any front end related technology. With the help of this technology, we work over the framework like Angular, React. So we should know this technology. So first we have to understand our foundation technology, web development related technology like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Then we can learn our Bootstrap, SAS and jQuery. This is a library. With the help of library we can create the application. After that we have to learn our this particular technology related framework like Angular framework or React library. So just we have to start from our HTML. So before understanding HTML, first we have to understand what is our network. So network, that means when multiple machines, multiple computer are connecting each other and share the information, share some resources, so we called network. So if we are working with the multiple machine, so all machine is talking to each other and they are sharing the resources, so we called network. So network, there are the three type of network: LAN, MAN, WAN. So if our network is under our local area network, metropolitan network, wide area network, so it is our computer networking terminology. So when multiple machines are communicating each other, so we called network. So based on area, so how our machine are differentiating in different areas, so we called local area, metropolitan area and wide area network. So if we are communicating with the help of internet, so there is some model are working between the machine like OSI model, TCP IP model, so we called internet. So it comes under our wide area network. Our computer are connecting under the our wide area network. So just we are sharing the resources. So what the resources we are sharing? Our this front end related technology, or apart from that some mail, document, anything we are sharing over the internet. So this is our communication. LAN, WAN, main, we are communicating resources. So our web related resources we are sharing, so we call the web technology. So what is the web? So web is a portion of the internet. So when we are sharing some web related things like web pages, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript file, it comes under the our web pages. So we are sharing this technology related resources like HTML, CSS, our JavaScript file. So it comes under the our web technology resources. So we can share lot of things, but if we are sharing this web technology resources, so we called our web. So under the web we can share the our web related portion over the internet. So this is the our web related technology comes 1990. So where HTML pages comes and we are sharing the resources with the help of our web technology, and we are looking in the form of HTML over the browser. So we are having some resources, web related resources we are sharing, so it is called a web. So we can create the application. So there are the two type of application is there we can share. One is our website and another one is our web application. So there is a bit difference between our website and a web application. So usually as a full stack developer we create the web application, but website is also part of the web application. So what is the web application and what is the website? So website means it is a comprise of the all static resource. So for example our w3 school or java t points, so we are just getting the information. So all tutorial related website we call the static resources. Information is fixed, just we have to call the server and we have to get the resource. Information will be fixed, it can't be changeable. So it comes under the our websites page will be static, but under the web application our page will be static and dynamic as well. So our page data will be changing at runtime, so we called our web application. So as a full stack developer we have to create a web application. So that means our front end technology will modify the page and our backend technology will manipulate the data. Our backend technology like related java related technology we are going to use our servlet, our JSP, Spring MVC, Spring Boot, anything, whatever the technology we will use in the backend side, it will communicate with database or different application, and it will send the response in the form of our web pages or web content, so or web services. So we will call the dynamic. So we will our data will be change. So for example our Flipkart, Amazon, Make My Trip, this kind of application we will say that is our web application, because data are changing as per our requirement. Because we are searching something, we are clicking over the multiple hyperlinks, we are searching some product or our hotel, train. So this kind of detail we can say it will be as a dynamic data, so we call the web application. So as a full stack developer always we have to work over the web application. So website, that means our page will be static, just information will be there, but web application there will be some backend system where our data will be manipulating. So lot of architecture we use. So first we have to set up environment. So in current market situation we are having one different IDE for developing the our front end application, front end related portion. So earlier we are developing together our backend as well as front end in single IDE, but current market our front end development will be happening with different IDE and backend development will be happening with different IDE, integrated development environment, where we will develop our application. So and our front end technology and backend technology will communicate to each other, so we will understand the flow. So for our first we have to set up our environment. So this is our minimum requirement for creating our web application. So one ID is there, Visual Studio Code, and our system should have our Node.js. So under the Node.js first we have to install a Node.js and Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is one IDE. So we have to just download our Visual Studio Code. So our IDE will look like that. Just you have to put on over the browser and just you have to download and you have to install. So you will see this IDE at your local system where we have to develop our web application. So our front end related development we have to do like that. So this is our web related development. So we have to do with the help of Visual Studio Code, and we have to install Node.js. So Node.js will give you for some platform for uh, creating web development application. So under the our Node.js, lot of capability for installing the API, for executing our code, for executing our application, lot of thing under the Node.js. So it will give you some platform for web development. So while learning, we will see what is the things we can do with the help of Node.js. So just you have to be installed. So you will install. After that you can see what is the version of Node.js. So you can see. So just put on, open the terminal. So terminal will be opening. So you can see, you type node hyphen v. So this will be our node version, and if you installing the node, so one npm will be installed. So this is our npm version. Npm is a node package manager. So we will see what is the node package manager. So node will give you platform for the our developing our web application. So currently we will create any application with the help of Node.js, Visual Studio Code ID. So at least you have to be installed at your system. So after that, whenever we will install, so we are going to learn our front end technology. So our first technology will be HTML. First technology will be our HTML. So under the full stack and development, we should know our front end related part, as well as we should know our back end related part. So under the back end, where we will create the API. So the technology, if you talk about the technology, our core Java, so we call the technology J2AC, and under our servlet, under our JDBC for communicating with database. So it comes under the J2AC, it comes under the our J2EE. So it is our technology, but in the industry we create the any API or any backend related things with the help of framework. So top of this technology, we are having Spring framework, we are having advanced framework like Spring Boot and Spring Cloud for getting our micro services architecture. So we just use this kind of framework, and our for communicating with the database we use Hibernate and JPA. So lot of framework we are using in the our backend side. So it is a Java related framework, we can use a Python related framework, we can use a .NET related framework. So backend side we can use anything, but over the front end side we have to use. So in the industry level we use Angular or React at current market situation. So lot of our development related things already there under the Angular or React. Our development will be fast, but underlying technology will be HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So this thing should be very strong if we are working over any front end related technology or framework. So there is some library like our Bootstrap, so CSS related library, so ACSS or jQuery, our JavaScript library. But in the industry we work over the Angular or React. So if our foundation is strong, so Angular or React will be easy. Otherwise we will do some struggle with the framework or library, because platform is there, lot of library already there. Just we have to work over the library, over the framework as per our client requirement. So lot of thing will be there. So similarly in the industry we work over the framework, and the backend side we create the API quickly. But this particularly framework depend on this technology. So we have to strong with this part, our core Java, servlet and JDBC. If you are strong with this area, so framework will be easy. So first we are learning HTML, then we will learn CSS and JavaScript. So these three things we have to learn, and we have to create some mini project and our use cases. So this area should be very strong for front end technology, as per my knowledge, as per my experience. So first we are going to learn our HTML. So I am just introducing the HTML. So HTML means hypertext markup language. So there is a one language we call a hypertext markup language. So just we have to define. So over the our web pages we have to define the layout. So with the help of HTML we define the our layout. So layout means what? Our HTML pages will be executing over the browser. So it will be executing over the browser. So with the help of HTML, first we will define our layout. So over the browser, some section will be our navigation, some section will be our header, footer, or main pages. So there is some area over the our pages. So we have to define the layout. So with the help of HTML we define the layout. With the help of CSS we design the application. And with the help of JavaScript, so whatever the over the HTML page, whatever the tag under the our HTML page or our CSS, so everything is a form of the object in term of our web technology. So we called DOM object, document object model. Everything is in the form of one object is called document object model over the web page, over the browser. So if we are manipulating something over the page, so like HTML or CSS, everything in the form of the DOM. So with the help of JavaScript we can create our normal business logic we can write. It is a scripting language, it is a one language, there is some syntax. So we can write business logic for a calculation, but mostly we use JavaScript for manipulating this DOM object. So DOM object means what? Our HTML over the CSS. So this will be in the form of the object over the browser. So we can manipulate DOM object. So we can manipulate, we can what kind of manipulation we can do? We can add, we can delete, we can modify. So over the web technology we are doing anything over the browser. So there is something behind it over the browser, like if we are opening this application make my entry, so all that things in the form of the DOM object in the over the browser. So if we are searching something, so that means we are getting some response. So this is the one DOM object, this is the one DOM object, so multiple object will be there. So if we want to add, if we want to delete, if we want to modify something over the page, so our DOM object will be modified. So all that things will be happening with the help of JavaScript. So with the help of HTML plus CSS, so we can create our static pages. Static page means our website only, but with the help of HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript, we can create a web application. So our web application mean dynamic page. We can create dynamic page. So static page means it will be fixed, so information will be fixed. For example, our W3 school, Java T point, so our information will be fixed. But for dynamic pages our information will be changeable, like our Flipkart, Amazon, our make my trip. So this kind of application will be dynamic application. We will create our web application, page will be dynamic page, information will be changed. So data will be loaded dynamically based on our requirement, or we are performing some operation, like we are searching some operation, we are filtering some operation, we are sorting some operation. So we are searching lot of things we can do over the page. So data will be just manipulated over the page. So we can manipulate the data, we can delete the data, we can add the data. So in the web terminology we will call the DOM object. So everything over the web pages, like this button, this particularly image, or this particularly text level, everything in the form of the DOM, we call the DOM object. So always one common terminology in the form of our web resources, we called our DOM object over the browser. So lot of thing over the browser we can see, we call the DOM. So with the help of JavaScript we can manipulate over the DOM. So we can manipulate, we can add, delete, modify, or apply any operation. So this is our quick overview of our HTML. So under the HTML, CSS and JavaScript, so we will learn our HTML. So our under our HTML page, so we have to create any page. So our extension will be HTML. So under the HTML we are having two sections. One is our head section and another one will be our body section. So we are having few element for our head section, we are having few element under the our body section. So under the head section we define some metadata. So some metadata of our page we called under our head section we define, and under the body section we are going to define our whatever our requirement. So requirement required tag we define under the our body section. So whatever we are looking over the our browser, so just we have to define all that things under the our body section. So under the our head section we will define some metadata, we will define our css, we will define our javascript related code. And under the body section we will define paragraph, we will define our header, we will define our main, footer, anything we can define under the our body section. So our head section we will define some metadata, under the body section we will define the body. So this is our quick introduction about the HTML. So we will see our head related tag in our next class, and body related tag so we are going to see in our next class. So this is a pretty much for the this class, so we will see in next class. Thank you.